Tous les deux joueurs sont à 1-0. Ok, magnifique. Donc 1-0 tous les deux. Et alors, et ça c'est quand même extrêmement stylax. C'est Mengu, les copains. On a Andrea Mengucci. Et là où je suis extrêmement triste, c'est que j'ai même pas pu.
Starting with Aspara's headquarter.
Je ne connaissais pas, du coup, je lui ai parlé avec un anglais, je pense. J'ai jamais été autant catastrophique en anglais.
Mince.
Donc, tu sais, j'ai essayé de faire tout speech, sauf que je m'y attendais pas. Et vu que je connais pas la personne physiquement, moi, bah en fait, j'étais en mode du coup, il faut que je fasse le speech en anglais, mais ça m'a genre surpris et j'ai parlé comme très nul.
On va lancer la VOD. C'est parti, bienvenue dans cette deuxième ronde qui démarre sur les chapeaux de roue, où nous allons avoir un match-up extrêmement cool, donc entre Romain Lecomte, qui joue Tymna Thrasios, et Andrea.
So, oh, that's actually Andrea Mengucci, guys. We have Mengucci on the camera. Very, very nice. Against Romain Lecomte. Okay. Interesting. That's really cool. So, second game already. And we have the Italian star on camera. We all love to see that. So, let's have a look. What is happening? There's a Tails End for a fetch land, it seems. Tymna Thrasios was on the play. There's a Chain Lightning. Could Chain Lightning the Dork. Hey. Oh, Hyper Anton. Good to see you again. No, there's actually a rule change that happened 2 years ago already, I think. You can only cast one card from your command zone in a match, which means if you decide to cast either partner, you cannot cast the other partner anymore. And it also counts for the partners with backgrounds, so you can only cast the card. You should only cast the creature card. You cannot cast the enchantment anymore. That's the change. Okay, Dimir. Someone is playing Hidetsugu. Good to hear. I hope we will see it on cam. There's another fetch for an Underground Sea. Intuition. End of turn. Lots of answers for Andrea. There is a Remount. There is a Daze. He could even Daze that, but he could also keep up the Daze. Seems he missed some land drops. Was it actually a stifle for... I think it wasn't a stifle for Scarlington. I think it was the Tails End was for the legendary, for the commander he tried to play. Seemed to be Thrasios, I think. So there's a Nomad, there is a Sevine's Reclamation. You don't see Sevine's too often. Because it's can be quite clunky, but still a good card. There is a Nadu. And yeah. Probably he has another reanimation spell in hand. Let's see what happens. Could actually be a lot of things happening here. So, playing a Nomad. Interesting. Okay, we've seen a bolt and a chain lightning already. But there is a flage. On the other hand, I mean, if the Nomad is handled, we just need a land drop next turn and then we can bring back both. And he rather decides to pass the turn in order to interact with the Savines. If I'm not mistaken, there's also a wash away in hand. That would be not like a crazy good answer against Savines because you have a copy. So you have to deal with 2 cards, but there's also the days. Yeah, exactly. If there's just a reanimate, then this seems to be the game already. Or at least puts Romain in a very good spot. Okay. So, Savines on stack. Probably targeting Nadu and... How does it work? It's like you cast it from your graveyard and then once it has to resolve in order... I thought the copies don't necessarily go on stack both, right? Is that the case? Yeah, I think it's you cast it from graveyard. If you counter it, nothing happens. If it would resolve, then you copy it, and then you have another target. Okay. There is a Galvanic Discharge dealing with the Nomad and also dealing with the Savines. The Days was dealing with the Savines, and we see a Fairy Mastermind and a Teferi. So now is the time to stabilize against the combo deck. But we have a tapped out turn against Tymna Thrasios, so there could be another combo coming up. A Priest. Okay, interesting. A Priest of Fell Rites, I think it's called. That's a card you don't see too often. Talking about reanimation spells. Unfortunately, it dies to all the bolts and shocks and whatsoever, and it's also not too good against a Teferi bounce. And now Andrea is in a very good spot. There is a reprieve. There is a TNN. I think it's a TNN. So he only has a reprieve. Is this a Snapcaster Mage? Or a loose focus? This could be a Stern Scolding also. Yeah, that's a Stern Scolding. Okay. Taking care of the priest. Fair enough. That's correct. You don't have to pay mana to sacrifice the priest. On the other hand, and you also can unearth it. On the other hand, it's sorcery speed. So as long as the creature does not have haste, you have to wait a turn. And I personally don't really like to telegraph my lines that much because depending on your tutors and stuff, you do that anyways. So there will be a hasty Aragorn with an exerted Arena of Glory. As I said in the first game, very good card. And there is a Parallax Wave. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, regarding the fact that we have a Teferi on field, it's not too good. Later on, the arena will be interesting once Andrea gets down Flage. And then there is the potential to have a hasty Flage from the graveyard. We also see a deserted beach. Really, really cool.
C'est surtout bien la 2-1 vol flash, elle est pas anecdotique, je pense, dans ce deck tempo.
Je vois pas son il a du mal avec ces terrains-là, Mengucci, mais il a l'air quand même bien dans la game.
Bah, peut-être qu'il en joue quoi, 35 hein, comme
Swinging in with the Mastermind, well, decides to eat it as well. I think it's not too scary. You could decide to bounce it, maybe draw another... No, he has a land, he has a deserted beach. Thank you very much, Skuram. Trying my best to entertain you these 2 days. I'm also thankful to the organizers to let me stream this in English. I think a event of that size also needs international coverage. The original plan was actually to be on site with Jean Lixi, so one of the French casters, and to have an English cast on site. But in the end, I was alone. I didn't want to travel myself. So next time I will bring some friends, and then maybe we can have a cast at the Relic Fest directly. Thank you very much, Yuri. So he did decide to bounce the P-Wave with Teferi. And we know there are a couple of counterspells in hand. There's even a Force of Will. So he can simply decide to reprieve it. This will be forced. The TNN is not necessary anymore. We see a miscalculation. There's a Wandering Emperor. That's a great card to be played end of turn, which he will probably do. No, he does not. Okay. There's no need to. Board is stuffed with value and you don't want to give away information if it's not completely... What the heck is that card? I have no idea what that card was. Maybe you can help me. But yeah. I do know a couple of cards, but I don't know all the cards. No, it's not about the miscalculation. Turn the Earth, it was. Is that a newer card? Oh, it's from... That's a very interesting Tymna Thrasios variant we see here, to be honest. Starting with a Bayou. And there's a lot of things happening on Mangu's hand. Flame Slash, Spire Bluff Kennel. Turn 2, there is a Voice of Resurgence. It's a beautiful card we don't see too often these days. For those of you who did not know, we got a freaky secret layer drop of that card. I think this is... Maybe this came out with the latest Ixalan set, because it looks a bit like the Ixalan style. Lightning Reefs from Mengu. There is a Survival of the Fittest. That can be dangerous. That can be dangerous. For example, there is a Ranger. So the Flame Slash will deal with the Voice. There will be a token in exchange. And it seems that Mengu is again short another land. That's crazy. We see a Murktide. We see Invert Polarity, a Mother that he can't even cast. And not that much interaction apart from that. So now is the time to do some stuff. I hope Romain is featuring Ranger of Captain Eos, because that can search the Nomad and maybe protect the next combo turn from any non-elemental interaction. But I think we don't see a Solitude on Mengu's side. And there is a Barrowgoyf. It's a 2/3. It's not too scary, to be honest. And there's a Glacial Fortress from the top. Oh, boys. And it enters tap. That's unfortunate. End of turn. Survival of the fittest. Activation. Could search many things. But there's no interaction up for Mengu. At least from what I've seen. I think there's Flage, Wandering Emperors again. It would have been the perfect spot to deal with the Barrowgoyf. There's Nadu. And whenever Nadu is close, there could be a Nomad around the corner. One card left. Needs to be a land, actually. So if... Oh, 2 cards left, sorry. Okay, 5 mana. Maybe just swing in with the Barrowgoyf. Unless Nomad is in hand already. Search for the creature. There's a Thrasios being played. Okay, I would have played that differently. I would have attacked with the Barrowgoyf, searching for a creature out of the trigger. Because you're milling 3 cards, and then gamble to find the creature, bin the creature to survival, and get the Nomad to have some guaranteed value. And he also missed his trigger, right? That's why the card is so good. Guys, don't miss your triggers. Yeah, boy is too excited. I can imagine. I would be excited too. Probably a bit nervous playing against Mengu. Perfectly fine. Turn 4. There is an Aragorn with haste and shroud. It's not too bad, but it won't save you from losing the game against Nadu. We'll see. Yet the board looks better for Romain. It's another land. Oh boy. Come on. Activate Thrasios. Find a creature. Okay. Barrowgoyf at this point would trade with Aragorn. And then he would get gaining 4 life. 7 damage, so 3 damage. Aragorn going to the graveyard, probably because Flage is in hand, so this one could get back later. With Flage. Okay, and it seems he's not digging for Nomad. Interesting. This is round 2, actually, yes. In total, there must be at least 10 rounds. Because there are 900 players, roughly. There's a Wandering Emperor. That's very, very unfortunate. And now the Emperor is taking care of Nadu. And one of your One of your combo pieces just said goodbye. Playing a bit too conservative here, but I also don't know the Tymna Thrasios list, so maybe it's designed in a more conservative way. A Psychic Frog is revealed from the Thrasios trigger or activation. What is that? That's a Sylvan Safekeeper. When did he draw that? Because, okay, I hope he does not have the Safekeeper. What is happening right now? This seems to be a concession. Yeah, but why exactly? I mean, yeah, maybe they communicated. He said, "Okay, I'm going to search this and that," and then you have no chance anymore. Could be that there was a Devoted Druid with a Swift of Reconfiguration coming in. Okay, we are starting with a Giver of Runes, Ataka Ways into Giver of Runes, and there is a Noble Hierarch. There's a Denic in hand, a 4th Eolingas, I think, Misty Rainforest. Could be Stern Scolding, Sink into Stupor. And the Giver is attacking. Yeah, you have to be fast against Tymna Thrasios if you don't have the right side of your deck in hand. And since Tymna Thrasios doesn't feature too many interaction spells, and it's also not that interesting to keep Denic. I mean, we've seen a priest in game one, in match one game. I always confuse. You got me, guys. There's a Devoted Druid turn 2. And no land, it seems. Oof, that's very risky. I would probably not keep something like this. There's a 4th Eolingas for 2. Drawing more and more cards. It seems Mango is searching for the 4th land. Is that correct? No, there's still a Misty Rainforest in hand. But still you want to draw a couple more cards. The Noble Hierarch only has 0 power. They could decide to attack, but you have the Giver of Runes as a blocker. A crazy lineup would actually be to... Oh, that's almost a combo. I'm not sure if that's enough, to be honest, because the Sink into Super is active next turn. If there would be a Swift now, just stealing the game, having infinite mana on the spot, casting Thrasios, and that's it. Mango has nothing to interact with that. That's a bit it would be great in some situations to still have the Vizier available. Okay, he's pitching an Endurance. So just for you guys to have a bit of an orientation. That's a Swift of Reconfiguration. That's 1 combo piece for the Devoted Druid. It's a vehicle. You can still activate the abilities. But it does not die to the -0/-1 counters. And the second combo would be, that's a more classy one. The old school, almost old school Vizier of Remedies. Yes, very, very, very risky to have a one-lander. And especially against a red-based deck,
Ah non, mais j'ai jamais dit qu'il y avait reconfiguration. J'ai dit peut-être.
being reliant on
Juste vu le play, je garde une main à 1.
those dorks is extremely risky. A card is currently not so popular. I played it for some time. Always depends on the metagame. Is Forkbolt. I really like this card. This would be a crazy blowout in that situation. You can't get rid of the Nomad, but you could just get rid of those two dorks, and then Romain is very far away from casting Nadu or anything similar next turn.
Je suis pas certain parce que tu as déjà ton monarque qui donne de la value et là je pense que tu dois garder de l'interaction. Ton adversaire mine de rien commence à avoir un petit peu de mana et surtout son nomade qui fait que si slam Nadu t'es pas si bien que ça quoi.
Ah bah c'est sûr qu'il y aura de l'interaction côté Sky.
Fallait trouver Dryad Arbor. Alors j'y ai pensé sur la survie. Je me demande s'il n'y a pas un monde dans lequel tu avais envie de utiliser une bête en main pour la changer en tapland entre guillemets. Je suis pas sûr que ça l'avance vraiment.
Okay, and I just received the information that in the second game, the opponent revealed a Cephalid to Mengu, and he was searching the other piece to combo off by breakfasting, which is, in my opinion, the correct way to also include that combo. As I said, it's a bit fragile, but you have all the pieces that support Nadu, so you can perfectly go for breakfast, including the Cephalid as well. Of course, you have a couple of clunky spots. Narcomoeba is not too crazy. There's also Dread Return. That's can be clunky. Lotlif Giant, the target itself, is obviously not really good. But I also play Psychic Frog, because then you have a creature that helps you to pitch Lotlif Giant from your hand if you're unable to... There are a couple of situations where you have too many creature tutors and you're unable to... Or you can have Cabal Therapy in a deck, but Cabal Therapy is a spot that you usually don't want to have in a deck. And most often you don't use it for discarding Lotlif Giant. And it's more or less a dead card. It gives you some information every now and then, but yeah. What do we have here? That's an invert polarity targeting the Delighted Halfling. So it seems he won the flip. Delighted Halfling is mine. But still, the board looks problematic. There has to be an answer now. And Mango is searching. Isn't this just... I don't know what Romain's hand looks like. Maybe like 4 non-creature cards. But... Oh, it was end of turn. Sorry. Right. Invert polarity. Never mind. Okay. So there's a Ponder. Revealing Prismatic Ending and 2 lands. Not sure. Is there another land? There is another land. So he could, yeah, keep up the sink. I still think it's a sink. And just get rid of the Noble Hierarch. Yep, why not? So we are down to Celestia colors in terms of mana production. Oh, boys. That's a crazy one. Keeping a one-lander. You have to have the bolts. I give him that. So there is a Lightning Greaves. Some nice looking boots equipped to Danik. And the Givers also available to protect the token. But he's drawing so many cards off of the Monarch already. I think it's hard for Romain to get back. And he's... Okay, he's cycling an Unearth. Jesus Christ, he must be very unlucky. I mean, how many land drops he already missed? Ay. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, 6 mana on board. Yeah, I think it's already GG because there's a Lorien revealed. Okay, Mango decides to go for Aragorn. That's fine because he still has Delighted Halfling up for the sink. And this way he can just swing in for 8. And that's a 2-turn clock. With counterspell backup. Yeah, so that's basically just... Even if there is a Swift top deck, Swift would actually be good in that situation. With a second white mana, no, it would actually not be good because he can just bounce the Devoted Druid in response. So, yeah, there's actually nothing he can do. Cool. So what is the UC about to do? Nadu cast. Well, okay. There's the blue mana. The problem is there has to be more than that. Ideally, something like a... Something like a discard, Gitaxian probe, something that gives information. I mean, the probe wouldn't handle the sync. Second card is lose focus, right? Yeah, so there's absolutely no chance. Is it Lorien revealed, lose focus, and, or is it a snap custom image? I think it's a lose focus, yeah. There's a Tainted Pact. A card that I think is very greedy to play in a breakfast deck because it needs so many cards to be in your library in order to go off. But in that very situation, you just search yourself a Swift and try to win. So we saw one of the new lands from Duskmourn. I think it's called Floodfarm Verge. Yes. In my opinion, it has the most beautiful full frame artwork. It's a really nice gate. Yeah, I think he... So the problem even here in this sequence is you are about to find Swift, but you cannot, and there's loose focus and that seals the deal, you cannot prevent yourself from hitting finale of Devastation first. You just have to be lucky that the card order is the one that you need. So yeah, it can mess up your combo lines. I don't really like it as a tutor, to be honest. Rather fits in a mid-range hero variant, I would say, that only features the Nadu combo. But okay, cool game.